Today we're going to be looking at some insane people on Facebook. Now before we get into this video, I want to warn you of two things. First of all, a lot of these posts are going to be from Twitter, because apparently Twitter's the new Facebook with all the craziness. And second of all, there probably will be a lot of bigotry. So just know that the worst of the human race are going to be in this video. Transitioning probably killed him. Trans Dead by Daylight voice actress Zoe Alexandra dies aged 29. Her young man. He died because he had an autoimmune disease. The connection between estrogen and autoimmune diseases are known. Transitioning probably killed him. Okay, so let me get this straight. Somebody has literally passed away, and the first thing you're gonna do is blame them being trans, and it's got to do with estrogen. Keep in mind, we don't know why they died. They could have died of a heart attack, they could have got hit by a car, but of course it's got to do with them being trans. The Facebook scientists. Exactly, that's what you're gonna realize a lot in this video, is that people are very, very loud and very, very wrong, and also just as bigoted. The water's turning the frogs gay, didn't you hear? I honestly feel like people like that will blame everything in trans people. You know, how have they literally taken that article and made it about them taking estrogen? Like, it doesn't make any sense. You don't even know if Zoe was on estrogen. And what makes it even worse, it's the fact that they commented that on a post about her death. She sadly passed away, and of course that's the first thing they mentioned. 29-year-old woman in Netherlands is set to be euthanized after being told by a psychiatrist that her depression is unlikely to improve. At risk of sounding like my dad, if you're able to put mascara on, you're not depressed enough to end yourself. Okay, so we've seen a Facebook doctor. Is this now a Facebook psychiatrist? And yet again, that whole saying, oh, at risk of sounding like my dad, apparently your dad's just like you, which isn't a good thing. Yeah, buddy, there's a psychological thing called masking, and it gets very literal with makeup. If you look at some celebrities who've taken their lives in the past, some of them are the happiest people ever. But of course, her putting mascara on doesn't mean she has depression. How does any of that make any sense? At the peak of my depression and anxiety problems, I wore full face heavy makeup. It was all I could do to hide it from literally everyone I knew. Don't tell him that, because he'll end up sounding like his dad. And yet again, from that one post of him, I already know what his family's like, and they don't sound very nice to me. Have you ever met someone whose parents are just horrible and their family aren't nice people? I'm getting them vibes from him. Just gonna leave this here, leave the kids alone. Normal children, woke teachers, trans kids. I don't think I've ever seen one of these transgender kids. I always hear conservatives and people like Caitlyn Jenner going on about, you know, transgender children. Where are they? Like, I don't think I've actually ever seen a genuine transgender child. Caitlyn Jenner is the epitome of I got mine, F you. She was lavish with praise and attention for coming out as trans, and now that her hype wave is over, she's focusing and pulling up that ladder behind her. I have noticed that a lot. Like, there was another person, who was his name? I think his name is Billy. Basically, he's known for like wearing dresses and red carpets, and because Harry Styles got like the first Vogue cover, he had an issue with it. He's done a lot for men who want to wear dresses, you know, you can't deny that. However, to me, whenever I seen him ranting and raving about it kind of felt like he wanted to be known for it. You know, he could only be known for it. It doesn't matter how famous or who you are, only he can be known for that. Is it to do with ego? Like, I feel like it does. And then on the other hand, Caitlyn Jenner literally hangs out with people who don't think that she should be able to transition. She's got some questionable friends. That coming from a trans person makes it extra disgusting. Honestly, people who don't like transgender people just use her as a way to spread their bigotry, and they always just spread so much misinformation. I'm always seeing videos on Twitter of crazy trans people, but like, I've never seen something like that. Like, I know a lot of trans people and none of them are like that. What people like Caitlyn Jenner like to do is take the craziest people and make it out like everyone's like that. They take a minority and make it the majority when no one is like that. Insane message my friend received from a Trumper. I saw you laughed at my comment saying we're red and blank. All I have to say is keep laughing, you don't understand. Us conservatives understand this may be the last election ever. Are you planning to end the world? Like, that is a pretty wild thing to say. We haven't burnt buildings, we don't destroy people's stuff. But if this election goes to Sleepy Joe, I promise you conservatives will not respond the same way. This will be a civil war here in America. Hopefully you got protection, as you and your kind will be the targets. This isn't a threat, this is what is gonna happen. We've stayed kind, we've stayed silent, and you and your kind is taking that as weakness. Just think before you laugh. Good day, good luck to you and your kind. Yet again, that's all over them laughing over a stupid comment. People like that genuinely terrify me, and this is about right-wing people and left-wing people. People who act like that terrify me. How are you going on about a civil war because someone doesn't win an election? I was gonna say you should be sent to jail, but honestly, I think you should be sent to a mental asylum. Your kind will be the targets. This isn't a threat, this is what's gonna happen. Sounds an awful lot like a threat to me. To me, it just sounds like empty threats. Like, they always say, oh, we're gonna do XYZ, but they never do it. But then what happens if they do? That's the scary thing. A lot of these people, and it's not just right-wing people, it's left-wing people as well, they're crazy, like they're cuckoo. Have you ever met someone and you just know that there's something up with them? That's the vibes I get from that. Yeah, that's crossing a line. Threat of violence over a political view, is that not terrorism? In their eyes, if you're white and Christian, it's not, but if you're any other skin color and any other religion, it is. You know, I'm thinking about some other people in religions, you know, if they said the exact same thing that he said, where would they be? Would they be alive? Would they be in jail? It's quite interesting, isn't it? Nothing says freedom like threatening to choose violence against people that don't like you. It's not even the fact that they don't like them, it's the fact that they don't agree with them. You know, you can literally disagree with some people on one topic and they will completely like switch up on you. Like, it really is quite scary. AI is gonna be the end of us. Before we click onto it, I already know what's gonna be. This photo deserves some love, don't pass by without a like. So as you can see, we've got two people in the army with a wee American baby. Do you wanna know something? There probably are photos like that which are real that exist. However, why has it got to be AI? And then yet again, looking at that, like that really does look realistic, doesn't it? AI is getting scary. Thank you for your service. Get family picture, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service to our country and our freedom. God bless you and God bless America. Amen and amen, so thankful. So obviously this is what a lot of people are saying in the comment section and they don't understand it's not real. I can't decide what I'm more freaked out about, the fact that that picture looks so realistic or the fact that then people actually believe it's real. I find two things utterly fascinating here. A computer is able to render an image that creates more sympathy and attention than a human can, and it goes viral. Two, the people that post these things often don't live in the United States but can strike a chord with Americans in participation by posting the right thing and sharing it to the right people. It really speaks volumes to social engineering and misinformation. Have you ever came across them Twitter accounts which is talking about how like the West is falling and they always post like rage bait videos? 99.9% of the time the people who own them accounts don't live in America. There's some guy called Ian Chung or something like that, and he's always talking about American politics but he lives in Malaysia. They run social media pages all about the West but they don't live in the West, but they act like they do and they act like they live there. It's weird, isn't it? And then also images like that are quite scary because that can be used to manipulate people. You know, put it this way, if you post a load of images that people agree with, which are all AI by the way, what else could you post in that they'll believe in? You know, could you maybe make them support your political party? It is quite scary, isn't it? A black kid gets tons of scholarships and the right wingers go mask off. Okay, so this is the kid. Apparently he's done really well. He was accepted into 122 universities. Black privilege and full display. Asian kid with same grade going to community college. But would he though? And then yet again, how are you gonna see a post like that of someone doing well and have that to say? It is just utterly bizarre. Call me universities trip over themselves to accept black kids. This is a non-story. Yet again, this is over a kid getting into university. What type of person sees a kid succeed, get into university and has that to say? At some point this all starts to feel a little patronizing. What, a black kid doing well in university? Like, I don't get it. Seriously, I see a lot of people like this. And here's more people just going on about DEI. Like, what is going through their heads? They really do use DEI in the place for the N-word. Literally, like, that's what you're gonna notice. A lot of these people will indirectly say stuff without actually saying it. They always go on about critical race theory or like wokeness, and it's literally just like a black kid getting into school. Who's gonna tell him? By the looks of it, this is an announcement for the game. After the park is closed, after the kingdom has fallen, a new era of chaos begins. Jurassic World Chaos Theory is coming to Netflix in 2024. Check out this exclusive clip. So this is an announcement for a Netflix thing, and apparently this guy wasn't happy about it. This is gonna be some woke garbage. Get ready for trans and non-binary characters and dinosaurs. How do people live their lives like that? Like, this genuinely reminds me of people who've got no real issues in their life to have to make some up. How are you gonna say an announcement for Jurassic World Chaos coming to Netflix and say it's gonna be woke garbage? Get ready for trans and non-binary characters and dinosaurs. You honestly think there's gonna be a transgender dinosaur? Are they saying that the dinosaurs will be non-binary? Alternatively, I like the interpretation that this was an ironic post and that the religious right now is identifying dinosaurs as woke. I mean, to be honest, I just don't know what goes through these people's brains. Like, that's what you're gonna realize with this video, is that these people are mad. And yet again, they always go on about wokeness. They just use it as a way to master bigotry. Anyone who bangs on about being anti-woke is just pro-bigotry. That's literally what it is. They say anything that's not white and straight and they call it woke. They're all the same. I really appreciate people use the term woke. It's a clear sign of a complete lack of credibility. I feel like if you posted like a male dog in like a pink coat, people would call it woke. It started with humans and now it's moved on to dinosaurs. What's going to be next? Animals? Wait, what? Marrying a woman with kids is like receiving a death penalty for another man's heinous crime. Why willingly and enthusiastically unalive yourself? Lost me in this one. Depends on the woman. I was raised by a stepfather. I am a stepfather. It takes huge nuts to do this and it's not for everyone. I mean this in all seriousness. I would rather be buried alive than raise an inferior man's disgusting child. But you would never be in that position. Put it this way, if you run Twitter accounts like that and tweet stuff like that, no one's ever gonna want to marry you. Marrying a woman with kids is like receiving a death penalty for another man's heinous crime. Why willingly and enthusiastically unalive yourself? Like, who actually thinks that way? Are they saying that people shouldn't raise children that's not theirs? Some of these posts are just so insane that whenever you sit back and actually try to read it, it just doesn't make any sense, does it? When I met my wife, she had a 13-year-old son. We called each other roommates since he has a dad. He's now a big-time executive and pays for our international vacations to go visit him. Almost nothing pays back as much as simply being a decent human. It seems like this will never get to understand that. The only reason that person thinks that way is, first of all, either they had an awful stepdad, their parents don't talk to them, or they're single and will never have a girlfriend, boyfriend, or children. Having an issue with somebody because they raised somebody else's child is just bizarre. Like, it's literally not normal. If your daughter is being abused, don't support them. If your married daughter tries to leave her husband, don't support her, even if she claims abuse. Women today think that husbands exerting their authority in any way is abuse. Turn her away firmly and tell her to submit to her husband like the Bible says. says too. Okay, so I've actually seen posts from this one before. I think it was videos on TikTok. She is basically like a housewife, but like a very, very insane one. She's like proper cuckoo. When I see posts like this, I genuinely can't tell if they're being genuinely serious or if it is just rage bait. Are they posting it for bad attention? Because in their eyes, no attention is bad. You know, there's good attention and bad attention, but overall it just is attention. But like that right there is shocking, isn't it? Imagine her daughter comes home with a black eye and she's like, yeah, just go back to him, that's your husband, submit. The only thing I'd be doing is submitting a police report. Oh, just the transformed wife peddling her insanity as is traditional. We could fill this up with her post alone. Yeah, so she quite clearly is famous in that subreddit. And not famous for good reasons, by the way. We know who this is. She is a lunatic, that is all. I seen a post of her on TikTok and she was basically talking about how if you're going through something bad, you need to pray. But then people in the comment section were saying, you know, praying isn't gonna pay my rent, which is true. I feel like she's the type of woman where she tells you not to do anything, just pray and it'll happen to you, you know, you'll be fine. But in the end, you never will be. Freedom of speech includes anything I want it to. Freedom of speech includes the right to call your black female co-workers, ooh, racial slurs, and any employment law that would mandate your employer discipline you for it or expose them to civil liability if they don't is a violation of the First Amendment warranting rebellion. Yeah, I don't think that's how it works. You know, there is a thing called freedom of speech. That also includes consequences. You know, if you say something which is illegal, against the law, you will face the consequences for it. Why didn't they use the words in the tweet? Why edit themselves? Because they don't have the balls. Put it this way, they know it's wrong. That's why they want it to be right. That's why they always go on about it. They know that the way they are is flawed and they want to change it so it makes them feel better about themselves. Once more, folks, repeat after me. Freedom of speech does not include freedom from your consequences of what you say. That person said it exactly how it is. You know, you have freedom of speech. You're allowed to say whatever you want. However, if you say something which is wrong, you will face the consequences of it. And yet again, with these people, they're all pro free speech until it's something they don't agree with, and then they want to silence you. Well, anyways, guys, let's leave that video there. That's some insane people on Facebook. These people were proper insane. If you see me looking more crazy people, let me know, definitely will. Press subscribe and see you all tomorrow for another video.